Hi, my name's Venus O'Hara and welcome to another video. I thought I would answer some of your questions today, and the other day I received a very interesting comment on one of my videos about an orgasm a day keeps the doctor away, why I have daily orgasms. And as I'm an orgasm activist, in other words I'm a professional sex toy tester, someone asked me this: what do you think of the NoFap movement? It's not just for men, and it's more about the dopamine high and the addictive nature of self-pleasuring and the distancing from actual human relations. Wow, very interesting question there. The NoFap movement. Well, I've watched lots of videos about NoFap, and for those who don't know, fap is the sound of masturbation, and NoFap is well, it was a website to help men stop masturbating, I guess, or with masturbation addiction, porn addiction, etc. I've watched lots of confessions or testimonials about NoFap, and it's mainly men, but it's also women as well. But what I have noticed in all of the videos that I've seen or the articles that I've read is that it's very linked to porn, and for me, I've never ever masturbated to porn. So for me, the type of masturbation I promote is different from the type of masturbation NoFap, the people who practice NoFap, are trying to avoid. But I do think it's very interesting, and it's something I fully support, because I don't really. I also kind of experimented or experienced masturbation addiction, even though it wasn't related to porn. I think I masturbated for way too often. I think it was maybe about 8 or 9 years ago. I think I might have become very, well, kind of addicted. I was just masturbating out of boredom a lot of the time, and one day it got very excessive, and I remember I think I masturbated 6 times in a day. I just thought it was getting to be too much, and also my fantasies were starting to get boring, and yeah, I was very distant from real human relations because I just didn't really feel like being with a real person. So actually what I did was I stopped masturbating for about a month, I think. So through actual abstinence, I learned some valuable things about my sexual response, and I think it's really interesting to change it up. So I think whatever method you use to reach orgasm, it can become you can end up doing the same thing over and over again, and then if you try something different, then sometimes it can maybe not provoke an orgasm. So I think it's good to practice abstinence, and also I think I was still sexual at this time, even though I wasn't with people. I was still enjoying fantasies before I went to bed, or if I was sitting on public transport looking out the window. So I think you can definitely express your sexuality without stimulating yourself. So I thought it was a very good thing for me personally to stop, but I didn't want to stop completely. I want to, because orgasm has been very beneficial for me, self-pleasure, etc., and I want to share. I want to help people, encourage people to use their sexual energy in an empowering way, not in a disempowering way, because I don't think masturbating to porn over and over again is very empowering, and I can understand why it can feel empty and people would want to stop. Yeah. And also, as I've become more spiritual in the last couple of years, I've been seeing lots of videos about NoFap from a spiritual perspective, an energetic perspective, that have popped up in my feed. And I'm not really an expert on male orgasm specifically, but for me, I don't want to. I do actually stimulate myself, I think, less often, but there's always a reason behind it now. There's always a purpose now. I also use masturbation as an opportunity to practice manifestation, and also affirmations. I listen to affirmations and things that I want, and for subconscious reprogramming. So I think it can be very beneficial if it's used in the right way, and that's something that I'm very passionate about in my work. Another interesting experience I've had with NoFap practitioners and people who watch a lot of porn. I mean, I've had a lover who doesn't masturbate because of that sensation of feeling they'd lost all their energy, or they're feeling drained after masturbation, and they felt it was pointless. So they wanted to just mostly ejaculate with me, and that's it sounds nice and romantic, but I think that's also a lot of pressure on someone just to be their sexual outlet, because they're usually, I don't know, according to my experience, really horny, and you might not always be on the same page as them. So I think that's interesting, but for me, I don't think right now I need to have my sexual relationship on my own with my body as well as with other people. It's something that I think it's highly beneficial for me personally, and I think it can actually benefit the relationship as well, because I mean, sometimes I can feel sexual, I want to have that sexual release, but I don't really feel like having sex, the sexual energy exchange that takes place when you're with another person, because that is it's very intense on an energetic level. I don't always feel like that, so I think something to be with myself is like meditation. It's very introspective, and I think it's wonderful. Yeah, but going back to NoFap and the porn lover, I can definitely say that the NoFap lover was definitely more sensual, at least in this case, and it was just a more, yeah, amazing, a more kind of sensual experience all around. With some people I've just noticed, I remember I was with a guy once who did that thing about pushing my head during oral sex. It's like, what? Stop. And I always push the hands away in that situation. And also there's tit slapping. I just thought this was very, very weird. And also he spat on my vulva before going down on me, and I was like, oh my God. I just thought the whole thing was, what? And I didn't really know what to do in that situation. I didn't know how to say, what the hell are you doing? And when I was in that situation, I didn't really know what to do, so it was someone that I had been sleeping with on a regular basis, so I was kind of like, oh my God, you haven't been like this before. So I kind of guided him back to more familiar territories, let's say. But I mean, oh my God, it just felt a bit too rough. And then a few years later, when I was on a panel as a porn judge, giving my perspective on the Spanish Porn Awards a few years ago, I thought it would be interesting to have the perspective of someone who doesn't consume porn. But I watched porn for 3 days, and I just thought it was very, very violent, and I understood maybe where all this tit slapping and excessive, and it wasn't even in BDSM section. It was quite, I was very surprised in a negative way about that. So yeah, definitely, and I would rather a NoFap lover for sure. So in other words, I think masturbation can be a positive thing or a negative thing. It all depends on your intention when you're doing it. And I understand what it's like to have an intention that's not very cool, like boredom. That's never a good one. But if it's something like pain relief, insomnia relief, or trying to manifest or reprogram your mind or something like that, then for me, I think it's a really positive thing. Anyway, there you have my thoughts on the NoFap movement. And if you have a question, write to me here, venus@venusohara.org, or you can send me a message on Instagram @VenusOhara. Thanks for watching.